This is Sybert signing in to Kane's Wrath on the map Tournament Galaxy. On the bottom left-hand corner, this is BikeRushOwnz. He's red and he's Travelere 59, but in the top right-hand corner as the cyan Steel Talons, this is Futurama. This is more Futurama versus BikeRush action, and these two guys have played a number of very entertaining games, and I'm not gonna lie, BikeRush did come out ahead in those series, but Futurama pushes him to the edge in basically every single match. So these are by no means one-sided slams, but they do tend to favor BikeRush, as many games do. Stasis Chamber going to be going on out, and there's the sell-off of it. He's got some fast leg descents, a classic opener. And again, something that 4 or 5 years ago we saw all the time in Kane's Wrath. It became about as standard as you could get. Steel Talons versus Travelere 59, not something you see very often at all. And I mean, certainly thinking back, surely it's happened at some point, but not very often. A couple of harvesters may end up going down. These are heavy harvesters, so they've got a bit more damage that they can take, and he's going to be pulling around this War Factory. It does not matter. Has to send the War Factory into that low power mode, and I think that's about as good as you can hope for with these descents. I mean, if you get both of the harvesters, then your opponent has probably messed up massively. Now, what BikeRush can do, send these descents around, maybe at another angle, try and go for that spike, or come back in and go for the harvester a little bit later. Either way, he can do a little bit more damage, and he's got himself up and rolling, so now he's going to be 3 harves versus 2 of Futurama, and he's going to be feeling pretty good about that, all things considered. And from here, it's up to Futurama to kind of even things out and to hopefully not take any more damage. He might just go for the power plant. BikeRush can't stand up against the rifleman squads, especially since he knows that there's probably a watchtower queued. You're probably always going to have a watchtower queued unless the MCV is on the move if you're Futurama. So for now, he's going to be building a Wolverine, and that'll keep him safe against these descents. They're going to be able to maybe chase down this one rifleman squad. If they take him by surprise, they might have a chance. But the blue tib is already grabbed by BikeRush. And I mean, getting the harvester kill and getting the blue tib is just going to make him feel so good about this. His descents clean up one rifleman squad, and I think this other rifleman squad might be able to deal with these descents. It's always a little bit close in between them because descents are decent at killing infantry, but of course not great. One single descent member does survive in that squad, as opposed to the 2 descents, or to the 2 riflemen of Futurama. And this Wolverine is out on the hunt. MCV has already packed up and moved. No tier 2 just yet. No command post for that, for those tech upgrades as AP ammo. When you're going lots of Wolverines, it's pretty darn important. Rifleman squad finally gets a kill on that last descent member, and unfortunate for BikeRush, but I think he's going to be pretty happy. Reactor taking a bit of damage. The power plant will be damaged a bit by that Wolverine, but for now, BikeRush is going to be able to push this Wolverine away. I guess he could try and go for some damage on a harvester, but I doubt BikeRush is going to let a harvester die to just a single Wolverine. Instead, going for the scout is Futurama. Other than that, he's getting his second base, his natural expansion, rocking and rolling. He's going to be able to get that up and going, no problem. Looks like the Wolverine ended up turning around. He heads back to the expansion, and he's going to be like, all right, just keeping an eye on you, BikeRush. I see what you're doing. I know that you're not doing anything too sneaky, just based on your expansion timing and the number of harvesters that you have. Second refinery up and rolling for Futurama. Gunwalker coming in for BikeRush. He's doing the same exact thing. He's just trying to keep an eye on Futurama. There's the command post, now out on the field. Ooh, spots the gravity stabilizer straight away. He gets the nerve center and the gravity stabilizer, which, it's put in a position to hopefully catch Futurama off guard. I think BikeRush was trying to keep that one a secret, but he will be unable to. Gunwalker stepping forward in the north side of the map from BikeRush. He's trying to keep eyes on his opponent, trying to always know the angles of attack, and he's split up his Tier 2 and his Tier 3 by so much distance. I assume he's going for shard launchers or blue shards. Yeah, shard launcher. I guess blue shard is Reaper 17, not Traveler 59. As the Storm Rider does get sniped out of the sky by those pits. A couple of Titans out on the field, and I assume Tier 3 is going to be coming up relatively soon for Futurama. There it is as he's base creeping to his third expansion. Railguns most likely on the way for him. Even drops the airfield over on the right side there. And Mechapede heading north for BikeRush, going to be going for some harassment. And we'll have to see because sometimes Steel Talons players, they just like their ground armies. So how much will Futurama be favoring a little mix-in of hammerheads or potentially some other aircraft? Pitbull going to be swinging on by, gets sniped by that Annihilator tripod, and there is the stasis chamber. It's going to be Firehawks on the way for Futurama. Oh, going Rift Generator. I did not see that coming. Mechapede gets shut down hard by Futurama, so great job by him. He's going down to, I assume he's going to sell off one of those refineries in a minute, and all of the stuff does end up getting spotted by Futurama. He switches into that anti-aircraft missile mode, and he does snipe that Storm Rider easy peasy. 2 Titans do end up going down, which is a little bit unfortunate for Futurama, losing those Titans without getting any real value out of them, but it looks like he's going to be transitioning into Mammoth tanks, so I assume Railgun Mammoths are what is for dinner for him. And kind of uncharacteristically, these two guys have not had any big mid-game fights. They're just going straight up to Tier 3. They're both happy to sit on their expansions. And a little bit of harassment here and there. BikeRush with that opening, now with the Lightning Spike, and with the Gunwalker earlier on. While, you know, it's just been a little bit of Wolverine action for Futurama. He's just poking around, and Wormhole to the other side of the map. What is BikeRush going to be trying to do? As it looks like he grabbed the tech center, sold it off, and that is going to be good enough for him. Always annoying to have happen to you, as you got to be careful with that Prodigy. Well, you got to be careful when you're fighting against a Prodigy, rather. Got to be careful with what he can potentially do. Rifleman Squad jumps through the wormhole at the last second, and he's going to get a little scout off on BikeRush's base. I assume Warp Chasm is either down or is about to come down. Ooh, signal transmitter. So actually, the Rifleman Squad gets grabbed by some cultists. Always annoying to deal with. But Wolverines and Hammerheads, if they are on top of it, can hunt and kill the cultists. You need to be in a good position for it. But for now, Firehawks heading to the north side of the map. Orca Strike getting called down on that plasma missile battery now that has the shard launcher upgrade. It will do a bit more damage. Firehawks waiting for, I guess, the cover of these Orcas to head in. Yeah, they're hoping the Orcas are going to draw the fire, I guess, from that plasma missile battery. Cultist going to be sending that Rifleman Squad out to the front lines, and plasma missile battery goes down to about 3/4 health, so there are 2 more here ready and waiting, which is good for BikeRush. I don't know what Futurama is really going to try and accomplish. BikeRush sending a couple of Gunwalkers into the middle of the map. He's going to be sending 2 Harvesters as well to get the blue Tiberium. And these guys are both powered up. I'm surprised we haven't seen or heard the call of the Marv. I assume it's here somewhere. I assume he's going for a Reclamator Hub, although he could just instead skip the Reclamator Hub, skip the Marv, spend all of that money on Mammoth Tanks and Behemoths and just go that direction. Firehawks going to be coming in, and I think they sniped a refinery, but they end up going down over all of those plasma missile batteries. They do also provide a little bit of vision, but that's definitely not your main goal when you're building Firehawks this late in the game. And yeah, so Futurama, he's just powering up a very big, very scary multi-war factory Tier 3 GDI army. And of course, I mean, Steel Talons, not really GDI per se. Not vanilla GDI. And of course, if you've got the railguns, you've also got those Titans with railguns, and nothing is cooler than a Titan with a railgun. One of the coolest looking units, even though it's can be hard to win with them. Prodigy is potentially going to get hunted down by this Hammerhead. He does snipe it, so great by Futurama. That just secures this force a little bit more. He does still have to worry about cultists. He wants to keep maybe some rifleman squads on standby, or maybe just some Hammerheads nearby to be able to... actually, the phase for the crush. He's looking to even out the infantry numbers and stop this army in its track. This is buying BikeRush some time, but he's also getting the crushes on Futurama's infantry. Maybe even a little bit of splash damage there from the behemoths. All of the infantry on the front lines do end up going down. More reinforcement infantry are here for Futurama, but BikeRush has bought himself a ton of time. He's spread this army out, and he's actually sown a little bit of chaos and confusion as well, and now he's going to back on out of there. The Warp Chasm, the Eradicator Hexapod is now out. As you can see, Shock Trooper is about to jump inside of that guy, give him that extra bit of DPS so he can send out those little shock discs into this army. And Hammerhead's now going to be pulling down to the south. Probably good to keep those guys on standby for sniping cultists, for sniping prodigies, and that sort of thing. 2 cultist squads on the front line here for BikeRush. Could be producing another prodigy as we speak at this very moment. Eradicator Hexapod stepping forward. These guys both have about half of a third field to fall back on. Maybe a little bit less for Futurama, and then after that, you know, once they clear these armies, they've got half of a resupply. They can remax once, and then that's pretty much it. They're going to be on into a low eco kind of a game. So this blue Tiberium definitely helping out BikeRush, making his green Tiberium last a little bit longer and go a little bit further. He's got a couple of extra harvesters here. I don't know that he really needs them working since he's only got a handful of refineries to actually go to. This is so much damage. That Eradicator Hexapod would have gone down, but it does get teleported away. Even a planetary assault carrier. Wow, oh wow. BikeRush is trying to run out the clock. We got 2 things going on as Futurama wants to attack before this Rift Generator goes down, but with only a minute left, I don't know that he's going to be able to do that. We do see him spreading his forces out. The Rift Generator, you know, it's good at killing building. It's even better at eliminating your big ol' army. MCV cap and pack up, but the Prodigy does get annihilated, and that's so much damage to the MCV. An engineer will fix that guy right up, and that is actually going to be Shockwave Artillery firing off, and that means this Eradicator Hexapod rather cannot teleport away. Overlord's Wrath gets called on the con yard, and there's the teleport back by that by the Eradicator Hexapod back to the safety with just 20 seconds left, give or take, on this Rift Generator. This GDI army is crushing forward. BikeRushOwnz going to be trying to keep this together. Slingshot's going to be going for the planetary assault carriers as the one-clicks raining down on this army. BikeRush desperately trying to buy time. Caps a mammoth tank and is going to use it to draw some fire and do some damage. Cultists now going to be running forward. They're heading up north as there's the split of the army at the last possible second, and the Rift Generator is most likely going to fire off wherever BikeRush thinks he can get the most value. Near the MCV, trying to clear the path, will kill off that Marv as well, sucking everything into it, and it looks like some AA now going to be going down in the south. There's the teleport forward for the kill of this Marv. One more volley should get it. He's blocking with the power plant. The MCV does go down. I think I keep calling it a Marv, but can he teleport away before getting eliminated? No! It goes down. The Eradicator Hexapod is killed by this huge infantry swell as Futurama still has a big army, but BikeRush is trying to draw this out. He wants to just whittle this army down bit by bit. As Futurama going to be pulling forward, supersonic airstrike hits the planetary assault carrier, breaks it apart. Futurama pressuring BikeRush so much, and the Annihilator Tripod's going to be stepping forward. BikeRush, can he turn this situation around? He's got so much stuff hitting him from every single angle, but he's got Devastator warships in the sky, going to start raining down fire on the Titans and on the Behemoths as the Annihilator Tripod stepping forward. This army is so split up from Futurama. It's so separated from itself. A whole bunch of engineers going for the caps on these Behemoths, and it looks like some of them are getting sniped there by the Devastator warships. Some of the husks are going down. Some of the additional engineers are falling as Futurama is desperately trying to find something left of his army. His entire army nearly evaporated. Overlord's Wrath Tiberium is going to be harvested up by BikeRush, but it looks like Futurama is also out of money. Futurama getting pushed back by BikeRush as artillery in the sky beats artillery on the ground that doesn't know how to shoot up. The drone ship still still here for BikeRush, and for now, he's pushed this attack back from that situation. We still have an MCV out on the field for Futurama. He's not totally dead, and of course, he does have a little bit of money in these fields over time. Both of these guys are bleeding bad. They're both in a rough situation. They've traded out so much of their stuff. He still has his tier 2 BikeRush, and he managed to keep a couple of power plants, and it looks like an Orca Strike going to be coming in. He's trying to move his weakest Annihilator tripods out of the beacon range, and he will get to safety, so this Orca Strike is going to be completely useless, as it looks like riflemen are going to be running forward, grenade squads rather, trying to do something, but not really able to do too much at the current moment. One Behemoth Husk there, a second one there, and he's just going to have to kill them off. He's actually going to be going for the kill of this tripod. He will be able to get one tripod, but he can't step too much further forward because of these plasma missile batteries. They're going to stop this. A Gunwalker does come out, and he's going to kill the Husk. A good move there by Futurama. I think he could overwhelm this one Gunwalker, but as a second and a third Gunwalker joins these forces, he will not be able to. Ooh, he's going to trade out one Hammerhead, but he gets the kill on the Behemoth Husk. Good move there by Futurama, and Futurama, I think he got a little patch of Tiberium there, but he doesn't have the he doesn't have Ichor Seed, he doesn't have the extra Tiberium from Overlord's Wrath, any of that kind of stuff, and it looks like, I guess, Ichor Seed was called down there to regrow that field a little bit. These slingshots, not sure what they're doing. It's going to take these Gunwalkers a good long time to actually be able to kill them, but at the current moment, they're just hanging out. They're having a good old time, so no worries there by those slingshots. Eventually, they will get pulled away, and it looks like Harvester's potentially being sent for this green Tiberium. He got a full load of green Tiberium off of this Overlord's Wrath, so that's good for Futurama. A couple of more Mammoth tanks heading out onto the field. I assume after he rebuilt his Tier 3, it didn't get grabbed again. Yeah, so for now, BikeRush is going to have to fight back in a scrappy situation. The MCV of Futurama is going to get pushed back, and I mean, if it starts taking damage, ooh, a lightning spike going down, trying to stop it from being able to escape, and you might as well sell it off. I don't know that Futurama can save it at this point. I'm not sure what his plan there was. He does still have this one random power plant in the middle of the map. It gives him a bit of vision, gives him a bit of map awareness, I guess, and it looks like it's Harvester hunting time for this Mammoth tank. If he can kill the power plants and eliminate some of this anti-air, that would definitely help the Hammerheads to be more effective, the few Hammerheads that do still exist. One Harvester will almost certainly go down, but I don't know how much this Marv wants to press his luck. There are still tripods out on the map. There are still Gunwalkers out on the map. And I mean, the Mammoth tank, I think I keep saying Marv. The Mammoth tank can deal with a couple of Gunwalkers, but Gunwalkers and tripods get harder to deal with. Titans now out on the field. The march of the Steel Talons Titans. Looking so good even in 2020. Still a great-looking game, all things considered. And this green Tiberium regrowing constantly, but it's close to BikeRush, even though Futurama keeps harvesting it with his harvesters. Of course, the tough thing about Steel Talons Titans, they don't shoot up. You'd think if they could just, like, lean back far enough, they could shoot those Devastator warships out of the sky. Railgun anti-air would be so amazing, as these rocket squads and the riflemen infantry going to be taking some shots at this harvester. They may barely get it, but no, the Gunwalkers do clean them out without really any trouble. This is a lot of harvesters, and the harvesters will escape with at least some Tiberium, as it looks like an engineer was trying to do something there for BikeRush. For now, these harvesters, I don't know what their deal is. There's some Tiberium that they could grab if they really wanted to, but yeah, they're going to head on home, and that's Futurama's income. That's Futurama's eco. Ooh, Titan v Titan. That's so sad. No one likes to see brother turn against brother, as those Titans, as cool as they are, will not be able to make it out from that corner of the map. Mammoth tank is going to be stepping on backwards. He better get out of there. That's too many Gunwalkers, too many Annihilator tripods, too many Devastator warships for that one Mammoth tank to contend with. No, Titan! He's going to have to run away. The tib spike was grabbed at some point, and one cultist did go down, but they got 5 members in that squad, and you don't need all 5 of them to be able to grab, you know, a unit. Dang, having to kill your own Titan. Super frustrating. Gunwalkers will eventually get worn away by these hammerheads, but they do put some good damage on the hammerheads. Oh no, the mammoth tank does get grabbed by BikeRush. He's a cruel, cruel man as Futurama rather kills that cultist squad. So good for him. Gonna be able to reclaim that, and once again these harvesters heading on home for Futurama. BikeRush still holding on. He's just kind of slowly kept hold of as much of his base as he can. And BikeRush, you don't normally see him be the guy just like turtling back up into relevancy. But in this particular game, that's exactly what's happening. Futurama being split on this map like this where they both wasted their armies. And by wasted, I mean, you know, they're dead. Wasted in the GTA sense, not in the sense of they used them unnecessarily. Although maybe one of these players, if they had played it a little differently, would have come out ahead in that initial big battle. But for now, these two guys, they both had to rebuild. They've both done a little bit of that on low eco, long distance mining. There's the Ichor seed getting called down, and this is about as good as you can hope for between these two guys, for both of them having to rebuild from this situation. This is what happens. Hammerheads say you grabbed your tib spike back, but no, you don't get to keep it. We're going to take it down. And Cultist's going to be running forward, of course, with the fast legs upgrade. They move a little bit more quickly. And that neutral building marker on the minimap, it kind of looks like cyan, but not really. As that's what I was looking at there. Hammerheads sharking around the map. And one of the rare times where a BikeRush game slows down for a minute. Most of the time BikeRush games are just like jam-packed from beginning to end, but this one, they're both having to figure out exactly what to do in this situation. And when you've got so little money, when you're so close to defeat but so close to victory, it's a tough call to make. There's the scan going to be revealing the cultists, so he knows that this is a threat. He's got the hammerheads on standby, 6 of them. They could be annihilated by those plasma missile batteries, or they could do massive damage and kill all of the cultists, allowing the Steel Talons ground army to crush through BikeRush's base. There's the full cultist grab, and the snipe is not good enough, so the mammoth tank takes huge damage. It does big damage as well. There, the slingshot's going to be able to annihilate that double vet devastator warship. Not every day you see that. 2 of the Titans do get grabbed, and for now there's no answer to the cultists. This attack has completely faltered. This attack has completely failed as BikeRush unable to... Well, BikeRush was able to hold that off quite easily, but unable to really move too much further forward. He manages to get out an Eradicator Hexapod this late into the game with all of this, all the stuff that's been going on in this particular match. It looks like, whoa, one more Devastator warship does end up going down there, and even this Harvester for BikeRush will get killed, so Futurama staying on top of BikeRush, going to be able to kill a lot of his stuff. Kill his Harvesters, kill his Devastator warships. Every opportunity that Futurama can take, he has been taking it to get those, to get the damage done. Man, this Overlord's Wrath has put out so much Tiberium. I wonder what the income per minute from Overlord's Wrath is, because of course it does keep regrowing. So if you were harvesting that, how much would you get? Because over time these two guys are getting quite a lot. And the Prodigy out on the map. There's the teleport forward. He's going for the crush of the Harvester. He doesn't get the crush, but he will get the kill regardless. Not a lot of Tiberium in these Harvesters. Not a lot of hit points on these Harvesters. And Futurama, it's mostly left to his aircraft and his anti-air. He's not producing a whole lot at the current moment. He's getting back up to Tier 3, so losing or selling off that Tier 3 at some point in the past, and Hammerhead's hunting around the map. This guy is going to take a little bit of damage from that Eradicator Hexpod. No, just kidding. So the Shock Troopers in there decided to take the day off. They're not too worried about their friend, Eradicator Hexpod. And we have seen many times in the past where an Eradicator Hexapod steps forward, it has no support, and it's about to die when it gets teleported back to safety, to the loving arms of some Corruptors, and that is most likely what BikeRush is about to do. Ooh, a Harvester getting captured. Very annoying, as this Eradicator Hexapod is now on the front lines of Futurama's base. Going to be able to do some damage to that MCV, trying to get a Marv out, trying to get that Reclamator hub up and running. He's going to surround the MCV, which means no pack up, no ability to do anything but die, as this MCV will go down. Of course, he does have a couple of war factories, a war factory and a Reclamator hub right here. Nothing in the south for Futurama. And of course, if he's able to get an engineer into that MCV, he could get it back up to that full health. And looks like the Hammerheads will be forcing this Eradicator Hexpod away. I can't believe the Eradicator Hexpod is dying faster than the MCV. So there's the teleport away, back to safety. Gonna get healed up. He's got some Corruptors. He's got the repair drones as well. So the MCV standing strong for Futurama. The Marv, on the other hand, now out for him. Hammerhead's hanging out. This blue Tiberium is starting to regrow. Buzzer Squad in the north, and the Eradicator Hexapod steps forward. A little bit of a teleport into range of those Hammerheads just to say, hello, I am here. Hammerheads with their heroic rocket troopers inside of there, doing a good job of just picking away at this Eradicator Hexapod, doing some good damage to it, you know, getting it down by, I don't know, a fourth or a fifth of its health before it even steps forward. Trying to push away these Harvesters, but it's got, you know, 3/4 of the load of Tiberium. Blue Tib being grabbed by these players. Marv and Second Engineer is trying to get in there. He's not quite going to be able to make it as that Marv keeps driving away, but he will catch up and eventually hop into that Marv. This Harvester still harvesting, and, you know, I don't know how big of a deal that is for Futurama. Losing one Harvester is annoying. If it was full of blue Tiberium, it would be even more annoying. But using up a Cultist to just, oops, teleported away. Using up a Cultist to just keep an eye on a Harvester, that doesn't seem like the worst thing. And these Cultists, if these Plasma Missile Batteries are extremely vulnerable, if the Plasma Missile Batteries get taken out, they will be extremely vulnerable. Eradicator Hexapod teleported back. And the cycle repeats. The GDI versus Scrin cycle. Well, I guess Travelere 59 versus Steel Talons cycle. But it happens to anyone who plays Travelere 59. He grabs a refinery for the build radius, I assume. I'm not actually sure what his deal is here. Yeah, he drops 2 plasma missile batteries so he can get some anti-air, and he's going to start tanking that Reclamator hub. Whatever's building barely gets out of there. A Titan barely escapes before it will end up going down, it looks like here. And there's the teleport forward to get, I'm guessing, out of the EMP range. Yeah, so the EMP grenades for these Steel Talons Grenadiers do completely whiff. So a nice little blink out of the way by BikeRushOwnz, and that Grenadier squad ends up going down. So BikeRushOwnz, he's finding creative and interesting ways to be able to break Futurama. And in this particular case, I mean, hey, this is a serious bit of income for Futurama. Now this Harvester is going to have to drive from further away. He's going to lose this upgraded power plant. His own Marv and Harvesters are heading in to this base over here. But there are 3 Annihilator tripods, so if the base defenses go down, it'll be an easy win for Futurama's Hammerheads to just come in and waste that army. But if the plasma missile batteries stay, he's trying to cut off the build radius, I'm guessing there. And he's also going to be cutting off the tier 2, which means no more plasma missile batteries for BikeRushOwnz, but he is going to be forcing the tripods forward. Oh, he's still got the cap on that refinery, so Eradicator Hexapod teleports back home, teleports to the front line to face off against this Marv. Going to be trying to go for the kill on that nerve center, but doesn't quite get it. And this Eradicator Hexpod, I mean, it's stepping forward. It's no longer going to be in the protective range of those plasma missile batteries, which means the hammerheads can start doing some damage, even if it's just swinging by and firing off some rockets. That'll still be good enough to tip the favor into the Marv and force this Eradicator Hexpod to teleport back home. Titans are eventually going to work down at this refinery. Buzzer Swarm is here, or the Buzzer Hive, rather, is here, just to make sure that no engineer can recap that. Although I don't know that you can recap when it's mind-controlled like that. So, unfortunately for Futurama, he is going to have no easy chance. Ooh, one hammerhead goes down. A second goes down as well, taking the count down to 6. A little bit of a problem there for Futurama. A little bit of a difficulty. It looks like the Descents were unable to save this refinery. Were unable to save this expansion point for BikeRushOwnz. And now that Futurama has cleared that space, he does, of course, have the opportunity to start harvesting that field a little bit more easily. Although BikeRushOwnz was never really stopping it, he just made the drive time a little bit longer. This is an incredibly densely packed base. If there was ever a base to hit with an ion cannon, that would be it, because that would do some pretty massive damage to the infrastructure of your opponent. There's the scan. He spots the drone ship picking up and leaving. He's actually going to call in an Orca strike on the Prodigy. I don't think it's necessarily going to get there in time to actually be able to kill the Prodigy, but I guess we will actually find out as these Orcas head across the map. We're also going to pass the Eradicator Hexpod down there in the south. Bye-bye. You got to try, though. You got to try. Cultist still has control of that, harvester. This harvester is like, nope! He just took a sharp right turn. There's the blink forward for BikeRush, as these Grenadiers are going to be looking for some kind of EMP. They're going to totally whiff the first one. And there's the teleport back home. There we go. We got some Corruptors for the heal up. Futurama versus BikeRush. These two guys bringing the long game, bringing the drawn-out game. And I mean, that field has actually regrown quite a bit. Wormhole as he teleports to the other side of the map using a little bit more conventional method. He's going to grab the refinery, drop once again another plasma missile battery. He's going to be trying to do this exact same thing. He's using the Eradicator Hexpod to do some tanking. He's going to snipe with the lightning spike one of the harvesters, do a little bit more damage. After that, and those Corruptors trying to, I guess, force fire all the way across the map, which is sometimes a bug of an animation when the teleport does happen like that. And of course, he can use the Prodigy to teleport the Eradicator Hexpod away to safety if he needs to. Gonna get the kill on that extra harvester, and that is the whisk away to safety. He's caused mass confusion, mass chaos inside of the base of Futurama, dropping a couple of portals, getting out some Descents to try and do some damage, as well as the Buzzer Hive to kill everything that he can before he whisks away to safety and has a single vet Eradicator Hexapod. Barracks does go down. Corruptors do get sniped as well, so good job by Futurama. He's also going to harvest away some of this field. That's the Eradicator Hexapod blinking forward, trying to go for the kill on the Harvester, and will barely not get it. Although if the blink cools down fast enough, he may be able to take another shot at it. For now, the Heavy Harvester will escape. He may actually get the kill on this Titan if it steps too much further forward, as an Eradicator Hexapod can 1v1 a Titan even with railguns. Although not if his Hammerhead buddies are necessarily helping out. The Hammerheads may be able to even things up if they're able to chip away at that Eradicator Hexapod. But of course, BikeRush is no fool. He's not going to let that Eradicator Hexapod die for nothing. He's going to teleport it away nice and easy, finally killing the Tib Spike of Futurama. But the Titan's going to walk forward. He's going to win for the crushes. He's going to try and stomp all over those Titans. It's not enough. The EMPs from BikeRush actually end up locking down his own Titans. I don't know that that's actually the best move there. Again, wasting one of these cultists using a Harvester when BikeRush probably already has enough Harvesters. I don't know about that. You'd rather have the cultists not grabbing more useful units like Mammoth Tanks, or, well, I guess I aren't doing Mammoth Tanks anymore, but Titans. Titans or EMP Grenadiers or something. Planetary Assault Carriers on the front line. This Eradicator Hexapod we're all thinking it. Can it go heroic? Can it go the distance? And BikeRush, I don't know if his goal with these planetary assault carriers are to try and cut off the Marv from the main part of the army, but could be very well what he's doing. This low, slow Tiberium harvesting is still working out for these guys. They've been able to just keep things going for the current moment. In the north, a little something going on. Planetary assault carrier going to do some damage to this Marv. Should be fine. Isn't going to take too much damage from just the one. Eradicator Hexapod stepping forward. Always a dangerous game to be played. And another wormhole grab of this refinery while the harvester was in it. So he gets the harvester for free. Going to be dropping some tier 2 anti-air. And also going to be dropping a portal. The same move again and again for BikeRushOwnz, forcing Futurama to spend money defending his main base when he instead wants to be spending money doing other things like building an army, getting more mammoth tanks, or even more hammerheads just to try and kill those cultists, kill that prodigy. It's a Marv versus an Eradicator Hexapod in the south of the map. 3 slingshots are here in case any of the aircraft get in on the action. And again, like we've seen many times before, this engagement is always going to favor BikeRush. He's the one who can abuse the teleportation of that Eradicator Hexapod and just do it again and again. The Hammerhead's taking a little bit of damage there. And unfortunately, no EMP to lock this Eradicator Hexapod down, so it will take a lot of damage, and here's going to be the teleport away in just a second. There it is. You always know what's happening. You can let him get down to, I don't know, 2/3 of his health gone, or maybe 3/4 of his health gone before you teleport him away safely. This rifleman squad, 4 members left, will eventually kill this heavy harvester, but it will take about 1,000 years. Ooh, nice snipe of the harvester. I don't know if it's worth it if you're trading out hammerheads for it. That is rough. 4 hammerheads going down for Futurama. Oof. This late in the game. This low of a game in terms of eco, this low eco of a game. Hammerheads go for the kill of that portal. They finally eliminate it. They get the harvester as well. That rifleman squad didn't have the firepower to do it. Marv slowly reversing his way across this map. He's got 2 engineers. He's got 2 rocket squads inside of him. He's going to be backing up to the repair drones of this war factory. And once again, Futurama, it didn't work last time, but he's going to try it again. I hope he's got something to deal with the cultists. I hope he's got, well, he kills that cultist nice and easy, but there are 3 other cultist squads, maybe even 4 here to try and grab some of these units. He actually gets some free kills as BikeRush is working on teleporting in that Eradicator Hexapod. He's going for the crushes. He's going for the EMP Grenadier, so he turned that army completely around, and Futurama's attack is completely annihilated. BikeRush lost a couple of cultist squads and maybe a harvester as well as the growth accelerator, but that was pretty much it. The Marv is getting its repairs, getting back online. More hammerheads are out on the field. Going to be loading up with rocket troopers, which is a great unit combo. Rockheads, as they can hit and run, move all around the map. They've got great utility, great versatility. And for now, these 2 guys, they're going to take a little break. Eradicator Hexapod stepping its way forward. Blue Tib starting to regrow. Eradicator Hexapod going to be skipping on into that blue Tiberium, saying, hello, how are you? Grenadier's going to be stepping forward. Hero? No. Just explodes in the air. Hammerheads take some shots at the Eradicator Hexapod. Mechapede, he's going for the disc mecha. Going to be trying to push these hammerheads away, and Futurama does not want that to happen. He's going to trade out 1 Mechapede for 1 hammerhead, it looks like, but he's also going to get the harvesters, which I think is probably going to be worth it for Futurama. If he can deny that income, deny that eco, and actually he could grab a couple more of these harvesters, gets that one, might even get this one before the Eradicator Hexapod shows up to save it. And actually for now, the Eradicator Hexapod moving forward, going for the crush of the husk. The carcass of that harvester that got crushed, got EMP'd by his own units. There's Eradicator Hexbot. It's stepping forward into the powerhouse army of Steel Talons. This is lots of mammoth tanks, but everyone's going to turn around. They're like, maybe not today. We don't actually want to fight right now. We want to just have peace. We want to have peace. We want to have kindness. We want to look at the star fields on the edge of the map. We want to look at the star fields on this edge of the map. We want to look at these hammerheads flying around. We want to look at the Eradicator Hexbot stomping its way around. Oh, it doesn't matter. Teleport away. Whiff. Eradicator Hexbot steps forward. He's going to get himself a nice little harvester kill. Nice and easy. He's going to teleport away before anything too bad happens. EMPs are avoided. Half of this field has regrown, even though it's got a whole bunch of buildings inside of it. The Eradicator Hexbot back up to full health. 2 Mechapedes dancing in the middle of the map. Can you dance with the Mechapedes? If you can dance like the Mechapedes dance, send a video to sybertreplays@gmail.com and I'll feature it in a future video. Hammerhead's going to be cycling around. This is more planetary assault carriers than I think have been built in any previous, in all previous games of Command & Conquer. Sharking around the map. These hammerheads. The dance of the Mechapedes. These two armies, they're just going to be saber rattling. There's the teleport forward onto the mammoth tanks. He's going for the crushes. The EMP locks down almost everything. The only thing it doesn't lock down is the teleport away of that Eradicator Hexapod. He does manage to teleport the Eradicator Hexapod right as the EMP goes down. And I don't think you could have timed that any closer, as 2 mammoth tanks do get eliminated. The mammoth tank, so powerful, so cool looking, and rarely actually used, but used a lot in this game. That is one thing that this game has, is a lot of the cool late game units that you tend to not see very much. As the phase does fire off, and actually the blink forward as well as this Eradicator Hexbot is going for the crushes. He's not quite going to be able to get any of these mammoth tanks just yet, although one of them almost backed right into him. So that would have been a little bit of a freebie there for that Eradicator Hexbot. The dance of the Mechapedes continues in the south, as there's the EMP. And if he can keep it EMP'd, he can keep it locked down. The phase will eventually wear off, and then he can maybe start doing damage to this guy again. But there's another EMP. It locks it down again, but the phase is still active, so do all of the attacking in the world. But actually, there's the Buzzer Swarm going to be called in to kill off these EMP Grenadiers. There's another lockdown, and now it's off cooldown, so this Eradicator Hexapod is going downtown as he is eliminated. Dead and gone, taking the veterancy with him. And that is the one nice thing, is you can reset that veterancy counter. Don't give BikeRush the opportunity to get a heroic Eradicator Hexapod. Planetary assault carriers, they're popping out one by one. Always a good move for BikeRush. He's got so many cultists. He's just going to capture absolutely everything. The Warp Chasm is now out. And goodbye mammoth tanks, as you are all about to be capped. There's a lightning spike going to absorb some of the damage here. There's one mammoth captured. Although these cultists don't have a lot of support, so they do have the Mechapedes here to push these hammerheads away. And this attack has been held off. Steel Talons versus Travelere 59. And that is another Eradicator Hexapod out on the field, running around with now 3. So instead of... Oh! A huge orbital bombardment, as these slingshots, one of them got capped, but the rest of them were going for the kill on those planetary assault carriers. They're going to try and heal up before sending out 3 slingshots. Did get grabbed. Now, these will be extremely useful in potentially hunting down these hammerheads, and it's like, hey, you don't even care if these guys really get kills because you're forcing your opponent to kill his own unit. So That never ends well. There is never a situation where killing your own units is a positive in the ROI department. Those Grenadiers not doing a great job of actually killing the slingshots, and for now the slingshots will pull away. They are going to get some nice shots off. They kill one hammerhead. Oh my gosh, poor Futurama. The EMP from this Annihilator tripod locking down that Marv again and again. The Marv is surrounded. Disc Mecha's doing so much damage as the Annihilator tripod lasers tear this Marv apart, and it's epic unit soup time as only the pieces left will be used for the soup. The body will be discarded by BikeRushOwnz in the graveyard of so many epic units that he has killed. And perhaps the even more epic units that he has been able to create over the course of his Kane's Wrath tenure. The massive air army of BikeRush does pull back. And I guess all shock troopers in this Eradicator Hexpod, so no blink forward from the Prodigy abilities. Rifleman squad gets eaten up by that Eradicator Hexpod. And it steps on forward. 8 hammerheads out on the field, a good number. 2 disc mechas going to try and catch them. They get none of them just yet. Mechas do have to pull back as well, taking a lot of damage. That one hammerhead extremely low on health. Mammoth tanks lining up in a beautiful formation to face off against this Eradicator Hexapod. BikeRush has given up on some of the more gimmicky plays, and Futurama, my gosh, this whole time he's had this Tib spike. This is like one of the longest surviving Tib spikes in a top game. I don't know what the exact time code of at this point in the game is, but I thought this thing got eliminated earlier in the game, but no, it's still here. Rift Generator now online for BikeRushOwnz. Goodbye, sweet Tib Spike. You were well loved. I'm guessing that was an Orca Strike coming in to try and do some damage. Not really going to be able to do too much. Disc Mechas, once again, going to be taking some shots at those hammerheads. Going to kill a couple of segments, but not a big deal there. And with tanks pulling north, the MCV as well. This Harvester is going to have to get on out of dodge. Now this time, there are no cultists, but there is a whiffed EMP as it locks down all of the wrong units. MCV steps forward. It's going to take a huge amount of damage from this Eradicator Hexpod, nearly eliminated in just one fell swoop as this Eradicator Hexpod steps forward. The Conyard may end up going down. The teleport away of that Eradicator Hexpod. He doesn't think it's actually worth it to kill the MCV. He's going to let Futurama come to him, and actually he's going to do it with the Overlord's Wrath, destroying that MCV, doing some damage to this Mammoth tank as well, and starting a new green field kind of on top of the blue. So now we're going to have a mixed field, which is always fun. Nice little 3x3 grid of Tiberium there for Futurama to potentially grab. Orca's on the run for Futurama. He's going for the signal transmitter. Not actually enough firepower in an Orca Strike to take out a signal transmitter. As it turns out, Orca Strike can't take out most buildings if they're at full health. Is there any building? Because even a power plant will survive it, albeit barely. If it's damaged, then it kills a lot of stuff, but Harvester's going to be taking a little bit of damage, and Futurama could actually just hold the line here. If he could just sit here and stop BikeRush from getting any of this Tiberium, then he could actually get a big boom in his economy, and he could actually build a whole bunch of stuff. Behemoth's firing off. Gonna get some good damage on that Eradicator Hexpod, forcing it to fly away, to teleport away. This is a lot of tripods on the ground. It looks like 5 in total. Engineers, or rather infantry, not engineers, going to be running through this Tib field, so they're going to be taking a little bit of damage from that. I assume, yeah, there's another MCV back home. It's got the laser fence, so he's okay in that sense. But once again, this is like 25 minutes ago, or whenever that big attack was. We have the Rift Generator counting down. We have BikeRush trying to draw things out. Now a AA battery is out on the front line with its rabbit ears, the tungsten shell upgrade. And these planetary assault carriers, they are ready for action. They are ready to sit here. They're ready to say hello to the hammerheads. Ooh, it barely goes down there. This plasma missile batteries with the shard launcher upgrade is so good, and he's like, you know what's even better is repairs on the front line, so this one mammoth is going to get healed up before the big fight. The AA battery is going to be doing some damage to the Devastator warships as the cultists swing in from the north. The Eradicator hexapod trying to chip away at this army before it even gets started. And it looks like this Eradicator hexapod is going to try and teleport away just barely in time. There's the grab forward. He gets the MCV with the area mind control and then forcibly killed by his own unit. So that is the end of the base push. At least for now, there is a little bit already here. And there's, of course, another MCV that could pack up and walk its way up here. Or he could just build another MCV right from there if he's got enough time. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on this Rift Generator as more anti-air go down on the front line, trying to keep the hammerheads back so he can grab the mammoth tanks, and 3 mammoth tanks on the front line will end up going down. They just get annihilated by Futurama's forces. The Grenadiers are unable to really stand up against this much strength. They take some of the AA off the line, but 2 more batteries to replace the one that fell. These behemoths going for the kills on those cultists, and it looked like 2 of the cultist squads do end up going down from the rifleman squads as they're going to be stepping forward. They're the real heroes in this battle. They're trying to make things more even. There's another Conyard here for Futurama. There's another cap of the Conyard and a cell from BikeRushOwnz as he pulls his prodigy back away from the front line. Finally, slingshots are here to try and deal with the aircraft of BikeRushOwnz. And just out of nowhere, this game exploding into action as Tier 3 forces Tier 4 from both sides clashing in the middle of the map. Another area mind control, another mammoth tank or 2 grabbed by BikeRushOwnz. Futurama forced to kill his own units, bleeding himself dry. It's almost like suicide the way BikeRush makes you kill your own stuff. Plasma missile batteries on the front line as well, meaning the hammerheads can never go for the snipes. There's the shockwave artillery as even behemoths are being captured by BikeRushOwnz, and this has turned into a slaughter as Futurama has been defeated with 50 seconds left on the Rift Generator clock. It will not fire off again. BikeRushOwnz in 55 minutes will be able to claim the victory here as Futurama unable to make it happen. That was a crazy game, a crazy back and forth, and BikeRushOwnz barely eclipsing his opponent in terms of economy by a mere 20,000 when you've got nearly 40,000 over the course of the 400,000, excuse me, over the course of the game. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this action-packed match, and this is Sybert signing out.